architects must master the delicate dance of client relationship management. Ensuring a good collaboration between client and architect can be a hit and miss affair. Clients can be disappointed with the final outcome, often because what they regarded as key features of the design have not been adequately addressed. Architects sometimes are disappointed with clients because they didn't make the goals clear at the outset. The initial meetings between client and architect can be critical to success, and project management that keeps track of client needs can often get lost in the tracking of technical and engineering aspects of the project. In this video, we present a new approach to developing an effective client-architect collaboration. The method we present uses Strategyfinder to enhance collaboration, developing what is called collaborative advantage, where the effective collaboration leads to an outcome that both parties are pleased with, but also significantly an outcome that neither could have created on their own. The video will illustrate the method and software platform with a real case, albeit a case that we've simplified for the purposes of effective presentation. The case is about the construction of a hotel extension in the mountains. A relatively small project, but a good illustrative case. The method is likely to be particularly effective when used on complex projects and with a large client group and large architecture team.
Without interruption from the architects, we gather the views of the clients. Here, the facilitator is setting up what we call a blind gather, where the participants add their views without seeing what others are adding. The participants are given an initial chance to add 6 statements. On the left, we see a participant screen. On the right, we see the facilitator's screen. We can see that other participants are contributing statements. And now, our participant is adding a statement which appears on the facilitator's. After about 20 minutes, we have usually gathered about 50 to 60 statements. In our example, we see 24 statements gathered using the blind gather method. The facilitator closes the blind gather, and what is on the facilitator screen shows on all the participants' screen. These statements are not independent of each other. They are causally linked. For example, our participant is suggesting that if we use billing for solar power, then we are more likely get to adequate funding for the project, and has put an arrow from 32 to 29 to show this belief about causality. We ask the clients to suggest what they think the causal connections are. We should note that no one can change the things put in by others, but they can change their own arrows and statements. Oh, but the facilitator has done something. What? The client group started discussing the potential dilemma of vernacular needs, meaning that they can't have a novel design. So the facilitator added a minus sign to the link to show this possibility. The facilitator also made the link a dashed link to show uncertainty, which would mean the architects need to comment on the possible dilemma. We now have a network of statements that need to be rearranged by Strategyfinder, so that it is easier to read, with the outcomes at the top. Now we can see the structure of network. The client group made some other changes as they discussed the structure. Note an additional dashed link showing uncertainty about the causality. Do customers actually care about resilience? The map now shows all the outcomes close to the top: novel design, customer experience, fully flexible, and so on. Detailed drivers are at the bottom, with no arrows into them. The next stage in the workshop was for the clients to rate the relative priorities for each of the different topics shown in the hierarchical map. There are 14 different topics, shown here with red boxes around them. For example, ensure good views, integrate with existing hotel, high degree of flexibility, and so on. The facilitator now sets up the rating, chooses a 0 to 10 scale. We now see the clients doing the rating, and the facilitator sees the clients gradually submit their ratings. The facilitator now reviewed the rating results with the client group. The results should be of great interest to the architects, bearing in mind that low priority did not mean they were not important, just of lower priority. We see that the top rated are, for example, statement number 10, basic facilities, with an average score of 9.0, and a high degree of consensus within the client group, shown by the narrow green bar under the statement. We also note the lack of consensus for example, statement number 32, use building for solar power, but it also scored low with an average of 3.2. The low consensus is shown by lots of red on bar under the statement. Gathering the client views, structure and rating took about 50 minutes. Now the architects get a chance to respond. The architects team now use Open Gather so that they add statements and show what the statement impacts by adding also the arrow link. The causal network map grows. The initial response before having a chance to think and sketch and design after the workshop adds another 19 statements. They do not see a dilemma between number 13 and number 16. They think it will be possible to be both vernacular and novel. And so the dashed arrow becomes solid and without the minus sign on it. In this screenshot, for the purpose of the video, we have turned the architect contributions red. We looked at final outcomes earlier, and we can see that the architects have added a final outcome statement number 42, sustainable building with long-term future. We noted that these final outcomes are likely to be goals for the project, but next we should check with the client group. If they are goals, then they will be non-negotiable, not optional. We can ask Strategyfinder to present a screen showing these final outcomes. Strategyfinder also shows subordinate statements because if a final outcome is a goal, then perhaps the subordinate is also a goal and we need to check. As we check them with the client group, we can easily change the style of the statement to a goal category, gray background. We see that the group defined not only number 29 as a goal, but also its subordinate number 30, high degree of flexibility, as a goal. Of course, we also checked the subordinate of number 30, and they decided none of them were a goal. We now ask Strategyfinder to give us a screen which shows just the goals of the project for a final check of the goals. The group thought that number 24 and 30 were so similar they should be merged. Strategyfinder can do this quickly and make sure all the links are retained. Some of the proposed statements in the causal network have a bigger impact on goals than others. Some will have many paths to goals and impact many goals. These are likely to be more potent. So we ask Strategyfinder to find these potent statements. And we see that statement number 46 and 43 are very potent, and then number 53 and number 42. To finish the workshop, Strategyfinder can pull together a summary map for the group. Strategyfinder brings the potent statements, the top priorities as rated by the client group, and the goals onto a new screen. Strategyfinder can then show how they are linked through other statements. This is a summary of the key features of the causal network and provided a powerful summary of what had been achieved in the 90-minute workshop.
This video has illustrated the Strategyfinder method for providing effective support at the first collaborative workshop between a client, group, and architects. We have seen how in 90 minutes of group work, where the participants are located in different places, an initial understanding of the project can be attained. In a second video, we show how the Strategyfinder method is then used to continue effective collaboration as the project unfolds.
Strategyfinder also uses AI to produce a draft document which converts this final summary causal map into sentences and paragraphs.